So just let's wait for people to join in. What a game. What a game of cricket, man. Let's just add our guest for today. So Omkar would be joining in, and let's just take his quick views before we begin with the show. So Omkar, actually, just before I ask you the question, I wanted a super over before the game, and we had a talk about this in our pre-show, and we nearly got a super over, but must have been a heartbreak, like to lose at the last ball. So, what are your quick thoughts about this game?
Yeah, actually, to be honest, we bowled really well at the end. It was looking like a one-sided game, to be honest. We bowled really well. We restricted them to the last ball. That was, I guess, a brilliant effort.
Yeah, let me just add Kaustup.
Yeah.
Kaustup, could you send a request once again? I'll just add you. Yeah, so he's going to be added. So what a game of cricket, and it looked like both the teams had great chances to win. And I believe that after Glenn Maxwell's wicket, I genuinely thought that Mumbai Indians would have won that. But look at Kaustup, yeah, he's pretty happy, ready and wearing the red color in proud. So Kaustup, quick thoughts on the match. Did you expect the match to go on to the last ball, or did you expect it to finish pretty early, given the target was pretty low?
No, man, I did not expect it to go that deep, but I thought by 18th or 19th hour it would be finished. We would have a short day in office. But yeah, it went down to the last ball, man. And
Well,
when the David de Villiers got run out, I reminded of the Rohit Shastri quote. थोड़ा time के लिए उधर.
got it. Unbelievable, and that is actually the case with RCB. They are not short of entertainment. You are always entertained with the way they play cricket, and what a season opener that we have had between the two teams. And going to you, Omkar, I'm sure you wouldn't mind a loss because we know the record about Mumbai Indians not winning the opener. But to be honest, just let's face it, this was a missed opportunity because we saw a couple of loose shots being played by the batsman in the first innings, where it looked like Mumbai Indians were all set to score 170 above after 15 overs, but then they fell short, and remarkable spell by Harshal Patel, which we'll be talking about just in a bit. So before that, just quick thoughts about the loose shots played by the batsman.
Yeah, actually, the slow balls worked really well for RCB, especially for Harshal Patel. Mostly the wickets and the dots were of the slow balls or the knuckle balls which we saw in the game. So that was they actually bowled really well. I have never seen a better death bowling of RCB till now in the last 2-3 years.
Certainly, and we'll talk about Harshal Patel just in a bit. Let's just keep the man for the special time. But yeah, the bowling was great, but there was one unusual thing happening in both the innings, and it looked like all the fielders had butter all over their hands. How many drop catches we've seen today? So there should be a drop catch counter in this season, because the amount of drop catches that we saw today, especially from both the team's captain, we saw Rohit Sharma dropping in at slips, and then Virat Kohli, who I hope is safe, because I think he hit his face over there, so that looked dangerous. But I hope that he's okay. But Kaustup, a quick thoughts on the drop catches today. Did you feel that something was wrong in the way the fielding was going on for both the teams?
I don't know, man. I mean, like in the last time we said it was fatigue and players had rust. They were not active enough. But I mean, these are international players. I mean, not anyone is dropping. Like if every day drops one, we can understand. I mean, he's having some rust. He is not playing international cricket, so he's not frequently playing anything. But these guys are playing international, man. I don't understand. Maybe it's the due. But then again, in the first innings also, there were so many drop catches. I really don't know.
Well, certainly. And though Mumbai Indians might have lost, but there were plenty of positives for the defending champions in this match. And one being Chris Lynn's form at the top of the order. We have seen him hitting those sixes and fours that we used to see back in the KKR days. So now the question is actually, it's Mumbai Indians are in a pretty tricky position, because with Quinton de Kock now being available for selection after this match, and certainly Lynn is in form. So Omkar, do you think that it would be wise for Quinton de Kock to make to replace Chris Lynn directly in the second match, or do you feel that Lynn should be given a couple of matches before de Kock gets the chance?
To be honest, whenever Dickot's quarantine will be over, he will be practicing. So let him practice for one more match, and Lean should be given at least couple more matches to see. If anything happens, then we have Dickot, so not an issue about it.
Certainly,
So I think Lean should be given a chance because he deserves it.
Certainly. And talking about the positives, and I'm sure all the RCB fans must be happy with one name, and that is Harshal Patel. That man came out of the syllabus, as one of the comments in the WhatsApp group had spoken about. So Harshal Patel, first player to get a fifer against the Mumbai Indians in the IPL tournament. So quick thoughts on Harshal Patel. Kaustubh, are you really impressed with the way how RCB bowled at the death as compared to the previous seasons?
Yeah, man, it was impressive. In the last 5 overs, RCB managed to bag 6 wickets for 31 runs. I mean, that's some kind of a record for even RCB. We are not particularly well in death overs. It is literally the death for us in death overs. So yeah, the Harshal Patel, if you see, his second best stats were against Mumbai when he was playing for DC, then Deccan Chargers, not the Delhi one. So he had then picked 4 wickets for 6 runs only. So there is some affinity towards Mumbai that Harshal Patel has. And yeah, we nobody expected him to be in the playing 11, but I think the absence of Daniel Sam has allowed him to play ahead of Saini. And he has, I mean, he's not going anywhere for at least 7 matches now. With 5 wickets that performs like that, he's not going anywhere.
I really like your phrase about nobody expected him in the playing 11. And there is one certain player which we did not expect to see in the playing 11 who made a brilliant mark, and that is Marco Jansen for Mumbai Indians. The way he bowled in his second spell and nearly won the game for Mumbai Indians at the death. So quick thoughts on Marco Jansen. Does he have a bright future for Mumbai Indians, Omkar?
Yeah, definitely. He's just a young guy playing his debut game and impressing everyone. So we will look up to him for a long-term investment. To be honest, he played really well. Like apart from the first 2 overs, he has bowled brilliantly in his second spell, taking 2 wickets in 1 over. It could have just turned the game for us. And even in the last over, he bowled very good Yorker. So that was some good positives from the game. One of the most important positives were Bumrah. Again, making, as I said earlier, Bumrah will be the one who will stop King Kohli, and that had happened.
Certainly. And it's good to see that all these new players and also the experienced players stepping up from the first match onwards. And I'm sure that Kaustubh here would be really happy with the way how Glenn Maxwell, Kyle Jamieson, and even Harshal Patel for that matter worked in tandem and to get the win for RCB. And also, who could forget the man who won the game for RCB, Mr. 360 himself, AB de Villiers. So Kaustubh, quick thoughts on the big stars finally stepping up against your arch rival Mumbai Indians.
Man, I would start with Glenn Maxwell first. I mean, there was a very special moment in the innings. Glenn Maxwell just hit for 1-6 for reverse sweep against, I think, Rahul Chahar.
Yes.
And the Kohli immediately ran towards him and had a word with him. And then for next at least 10 balls, he did not hit any dash shot. So batting with Kohli is giving Maxwell the maturity that he needs. So if you see, he was not batting with that confidence with any team that he was playing for. Like the best season he had was with Punjab. That time he had Miller to back him, and Sehwag and Manan Vora were opening for them. So he had no pressure to perform actually. So this time the combination is set so that Maxwell has AB de Villiers in the back and Virat Kohli at the top. So that gives him the freedom, that gives him the maturity, and that gives him the confidence and freedom and ticket to play whatever shots he like, but with the maturity and the conditions that are needed. And the secondly, I mean, when it comes to de Villiers, I mean, every head must bow, every tongue must confess. He is the greatest of all time. In T20s, there is no competition. I mean, the Rohit Sharma is a beast, but what AB de Villiers can do, nobody else can do.
Certainly. I, as a neutral fan, I really like the competition between AB de Villiers and Bumrah at the death, because there was a similar competition in 2019 where I think Mumbai Indians just won it in the last over, in that Malinga over. But in that match, Bumrah completely outfoxed AB de Villiers. But this time around, it's fair to say that AB de Villiers has won the battle over him. So it's always good to see such healthy rivalries. And talking about Jasprit Bumrah, the man he's simply, I think, the best Indian bowler that we have produced. And I think as an Indian fan, we must confess that We are so blessed to have someone like Jasprit Bumrah in our team. And your thoughts on Jasprit Bumrah's performance, Omkar?
Yeah, man, no words for Bumrah is Bumrah, the best in the world, we can say. Bumrah, I like the way he bowls the short balls. Apart from his last over where ABD scored runs, he was just brilliant. That Kohli's wicket of an LBW and a sharp Yorker, slow ball, beating the batsman, that was just brilliant. We all know what he is known for. So that's it.
Talk-
Bumrah is just Bumrah.
Talking about the battles, there was one interesting comment here that Bumrah has got Kohli out 4 times in the recent matches. So it's almost fair to say that is Kohli Bumrah's bunny, or do you think? Let's just talk about Virat Kohli for that one matter, because we
I mean,
have
not really. I mean, if you look at the strike rate and runs he has scored, Kohli has not been struggling against him. But I think most of the times the situation with RCB is that Kohli is at the deep end and Bumrah is at the deep end bowling to him. So either way, some days he's gonna win, some day the Bumrah is gonna win. So there is no actual stats to indicate that Kohli has won or not. But when you take a wicket, yeah, obviously the bowler has won, and it takes just one ball for the bowler to win. You hit 3 sixes, it does not matter. It takes one ball for a bowler to win.
well. Before I begin with the next question, let me just confess that today it has been a weird day for cricketing world. We have seen Rahul Dravid getting angry for the first time. We have seen Glenn Maxwell performing in an IPL game. and then we have seen Washington Sundar opening the batting for RCB. Like it is a day full of surprises. So I want both of your thoughts. Let's just not include Kaustubh. I want both of your thoughts on seeing someone like Washington Sundar opening the batting in a run chase. First, let's just take Omkar's view.
I never expected him to open the batting. To be honest, I had expected Rajat Patidar to open the batting as Azharuddin was not there. Even Padikkal was not there. So I had expected that he'll open the batting with Kohli. But Mike Hesson had other plans, you can say. As Sundar opens for Tamil Nadu in domestic cricket, they just tried to make him opener for today's game, I guess.
Virat Kohli winning the toss was also a surprise. That's a nice one. Going with Kaustubh, what are your thoughts on watching Sundar open the innings? And do you see that as a long-term option for RCB, or do you believe Devdutt Padikkal is the clear-cut choice?
No, not at all. So if you look at the team, the playing 11, the RCB was going into the match with 8 bowling options in hand. So what they did was, I think the Rajat Patidar is for long term there. He's going to play for number 3 at them for consistently. So what they did was, rather than jumping him up and down and shifting him when the Devdutt Padikkal comes in, what they did was they used Sundar up the order, and they used Shahbaz Ahmed in place of the Washington Sundar place. So the next time Devdutt Padikkal is available, I think the Shahbaz Ahmed is going to he's going to make place for him, and Sundar will come down there and Devdutt Padikkal will open. So I think that was the plan, and that gives them the freedom and flexibility.
Well, certainly. And we have been talking about the likes of AB de Villiers, the likes of Harshal Patel. But let's face it that the spinners today, impact of spinners in Chepauk, how the pitches would be assisting the spinners in the initial matches in the IPL. So, but if we could just consider the fact that, am I audible? Is it? Hello?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. So talking about the spinners from both the side, both the prime leg spinners of both the sides, Rahul Chahar from Mumbai and Yuzvendra Chahal from Royal Challengers Bangalore, both of them did not have a great game, considering the fact that they were supposed to be the X factor for both the teams, given the fact that the conditions would be favoring them. So are you concerned about about both of them in your side going forward? Because we have seen the impact of Rahul Chahar for Mumbai Indians, and we have seen how much of a crucial wicket taker Chahal is for RCB. So quickly, firstly, I would like to hear about Chahal from Kaustubh over this.
Yeah, so the Chahal, as we know, he's going for a lean form, and it will take some time for him to come back. And maybe with working with Adam Zampa and Mike Hesson over that, he will get back. I mean, he's a clever guy. He does not care about this thing. They know he's a champion, and yeah, he'll perform. And I would just like to comment about Chahar also. I mean, he's in great form in international cricket, but if you see his last 6 matches for MI, he's going for runs and not really picking wickets. So, and Piyush Chawla breathing down his neck, it will be really hard for him to, it is adapt or perish for him, the situation.
Certainly, we have been having a talk about the strength of Mumbai Indian spinners before the match began with Omkar. So, would you like to comment about Chahar's form? Are you concerned about Rahul Chahar, or do you feel that he will get back into groove as the season progresses?
Yeah, he will get back. Yeah, because he has bowled many economical spells. To be honest, we can't just forget the 2019 IPL final where he just gave away in 4 overs. He gave away just 14 runs. So we can't just forget that. So we just have to back him. That Emma, as we always know, that Emma is very good in backing their players to get the best out of them. So Emma will definitely back him.
Certainly, certainly. And there is one interesting question that I have come across on the WhatsApp group. It was that we know that the importance of Yorker is vividly seen in this particular format, and we have seen both the teams did not, at least Mumbai, at least Royal Challengers Bangalore, when they were bowling against Mumbai Indians in the initial overs, they did not use Yorkers really effectively, and that actually meant that Mumbai Indians got off to a good start. So, what is the importance of Yorker, or do you see that variations with the ball using off cutters and leg cutters, whichever thing, are more crucial right now in the context of T20, and or do you feel that Yorkers are the best way to go about things for the bowlers? Firstly, I would like to ask Kaustubh this.
I mean, definitely the Yorkers are the best arsenal for a bowler. But when you set field for a particular ball and the field continues for that, it sometimes gets predictable. I mean, we have seen Kohli just cutting and opening the blade of the bat and making a gap on the square side. So if you have to make them keep guessing. You just can't be predictable. Predictability is not going to help you in T20. Yorker is definitely going to, but you have to mix it up.
Certainly. Would you like to comment on this topic, Omkar, about the Yorkers?
Yeah. Like Yorkers, we all know Yorker is the best delivery. Like whenever a bowler bowls a Yorker, it will be either be LBW, a bold, or a perfectly. It will hit just the toe end of the bat. So sometimes what happens is the attempted Yorker gets converted into a full toss, which is actually a disadvantage for a bowler. So many bowlers nowadays, we have seen Deepak Chahar, Shardul Thakur, or Bhuvneshwar Kumar. They try the knuckle ball along with the slow ball to get the wickets. And as we all know, Shardul Thakur is very successful with his knuckle ball. He always traps the batsman with his knuckle ball. So that was the same scene with Harshal Patel. He used most of the slower ones and the knuckle balls. That's why he got 5-wicket haul against us.
Certainly, that's very interesting.
Adding to that point,
yeah, go ahead.
Lasith Malinga during the 2013 and 2012 season, he was struggling. Kohli and Dhoni were smashing him all over the place, so he had to develop a new ball, and he invented the dipping Yorker. So you can't just keep bowling Yorker and Yorker. The batsman will eventually get you. So you have to keep mixing it up.
Exactly, that's a good point made about being not being predictable as a bowler for against the batsman. Let's just carry on with the match in our hand. We before the match, we have been putting up our own lineups who would be batting at number 3, batting at number 4. But RCB, right from the first ball, they have just stumped us all over. We have seen AB de Villiers batting at number 5 or number 6. And we saw someone like Patidar batting ahead of Glenn Maxwell and ABD. So do you think that though RCB won the match because of AB de Villiers' success, but do you think that AB de Villiers should be batting so low down the order, or do you believe that he should be batting in the top 4?
I definitely see a plan here. So if you see the previous seasons, AB de Villiers has opened for RCB, has batted at number 3, has batted at number 4, 5, and 6 also. So what they're doing here is they definitely have tried AB de Villiers, and just recently Issa Stalekar mentioned on the commentary, Kohli and AB de Villiers, since the Gale have left, 80% of runs have been scored by only 2 of them. So definitely Kohli has expressed his desire to open. So that slot is gone with Devdutt Padikkal. At number 3, they don't want to bat AB de Villiers because they have a Maxwell at number 4. And at number 5, the AB de Villiers aura gives Maxwell the freedom and the responsibility to perform. So even if he gets out at some point, they have AB de Villiers to cover him. So AB de Villiers is going to bat at number 5, even though I would like him to face more ball. But I think that is the plan for them. Because at number 6, there is Dan Christian to finish off the things. And if, just like today, if it needed, AB de Villiers can finish the innings. And Maxwell, as you know, the best years he had with Punjab or Punjab, that was at number 4. So I think that they are trying to recreate that magic.
Certainly, good points made there about strengthening the middle and lower order of RCB. Though Yuvraj Singh did tweet that AB de Villiers should be batting at the top of the order, but that's a whole new point, and we would just have to see what happens with Royal Challengers Bangalore as the season progresses. Now, let's just forget what has happened today. We have just witnessed one of the greatest cricket match in a long time right now, with both of these teams have being played. So let's just look a little bit forward for both the teams. So going first with the Mumbai Indians, I'm sure that you guys should not be too sad because your next opponents are actually your favorite opponents, and that is the Kolkata Knight Riders. So going ahead, Kolkata Knight Riders at Chennai. What do you expect? Do you expect any team changes, though, or do you expect any changes apart from let's say Quinton de Kock coming in? Omkar?
I don't see any changes, to be honest. I don't see any changes. Yeah, we played really well. It's not like we didn't play at all and we need to change our side. It is not like that. We really played really well, especially Marco Jansen and what we can say, Chris Lynn. So I don't think there will be any changes. We should back up players. That's the main thing.
Certainly, and who?
Our bunny.
That's the confidence I was looking for. I was looking for this confident answer, and it would be an interesting battle between how Chris Lynn plays against KKR, and we saw how Maxwell played today. So let's just wait and see what happens. And talking about RCB's next opponent, and I'm sure that most of the RCB fans have been heartbroken because of SRH, be it 2016 final or be it the last year's playoffs game. So going forward, an informed RCB team playing against possibly the most structured side in the league, that is SRH. They have their bases covered. They have top quality overseas players. So what should be RCB's game plan going forward to play against SRH? Kaustup.
Yeah, mostly the same only. Like bat well, bowl well, and field well, and possibly don't drop that many catches. If the other particular is available, I think Shahbaz has to make way for him. And apart from that, I don't think there is anything needed because we had the death bowling that we desired all the time, the batting that we have, the batting that we back, and yeah, today AB de Villiers fired, Glenn Maxwell fired, and Kohli fired. So yeah, that makes a good day for us, and I don't see that many changes.
Certainly, and it's good to see that both the teams' fans don't want to see too many changes in the initial matches. So, gentlemen, let's just wrap off this post-match session with one quick question to both of you. So, we have seen all of the players that played the game, and we even asked both of you about your opinions about who would be the difference maker for both the side. And I'm sure Kaustup said Glenn Maxwell would be the one, and Omkar said Surya Kumar Yadav. So, one question to both of you. So, do you agree that AB de Villiers was the game changer for this entire match, or do you believe there was someone else who should be named as the game changer of the match? Omkar.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
No, I believe it was Harshal Patel for me because I mean, when was the last time AB de Villiers did not fire at the death overs? The change that brought the team win home was that Harshal Patel gave them the best death overs they ever had. The 6 wickets in last 5 overs was the crucial point. Remember, MI won their last cup scoring 2 average runs more than any other team. They were scoring at run rate of 12 and rest of the teams were scoring at 10. So the last 5 overs were crucial, and hence I think the Harshal Patel has to be man of the match and the X factor too.
What about you, Omkar? Do you agree with Kaustup?
Yeah, definitely. He was actually out of syllabus type question. People expected something from Jamieson, Chahal, but he just came out of syllabus. He bowled really well, executed the Yorkers, the slow runs, and the cutters especially, even with the knuckle ball.
Certainly. And before we end, I would just like to take one more question, which I found pretty interesting. We talked about the impact of spinners not being used effectively in this match. So there is one question from Sri Bhalerao saying that Chawla should come in place of Rahul Chahar because he was a part of CSK side and he knows the cheap conditions better. To be honest, I do agree with him, but do you feel that it's too early to to not back someone like Rahul Chahar and just change from day one. What are your thoughts about this, Omkar?
Yeah, actually, I was expecting Chawla today as well, along with Chahar in this Chepauk ground. But the Chepauk ground was not as per its traditional Chepauk pitch, to be honest. So I guess it's too early. Just one bad game. It's just a season opener. We always lose our opening match. We have had the habit of losing our opening match. So need to just back up players. Let's see what happens in the next few games, so that if any changes are needed, we can bring Chawla.
Certainly, certainly. And I would like to conclude with a famous statement made by Ravi Shastri. At the end,
Wait.
Yeah,
I just
go
like
ahead.
to point out one thing.
Go ahead, go ahead.
If you saw, the Hardik Pandya was not throwing the ball. I mean, even the Virat Kohli run out, he gave it the underarm. And at the deep point, or the third man, I guess, he was not throwing the ball. He was just giving the underarm. And he did not ball even 1 over in the match. I think he is carrying some niggle. And they have to look into it. Because Mumbai Indians is famous for carrying their players even with the injury. Rohit Sharma did not play for India, but did play final for MI. So I think there is some injury or maybe niggle. So we have to look at for the backup.
Well, I could certainly see some spark coming out of my mobile because Kaustup here is trying to ignite a spark in the IPL, going a very controversial route. But we got plenty of time in the season. But for tonight, I think it's safe to say that we have been treated a magnificent game. And I would just like to conclude the session by a famous quote by Ravi Shastri. At the end, cricket was the real winner. And certainly it was. I mean, what better way to start off the Indian festival, India Ka Tyohar, as they rightfully say, with this particular match. So, gentlemen, it has been pleasure once again having you on the show, and I'm sure that we would be seeing you quite a lot more in the coming matches, and hoping that both of your teams get off to a good start, and at the end we get a cracker of a season just like last season. So till then, I hope that you all enjoyed, and thank you all for tuning in. And keep the love and support coming in, because this is a new initiative from us IISM students, and we are only going to get better and better through your support. So we would be joining you all tomorrow, pre-match and post-match. Before, yes, exactly. We would be joining you all tomorrow before the pre-match and post-match, where it is a big one. It's when the pupil meets his master, MS Dhoni versus Rishabh Pant. And do join us for the pre-match and post-match shows, where we would be covering all the analysis with our experts on the show. So till then, have a good night and take care, everyone. Stay indoors, stay safe. Take care.
Good night, guys.
Thank you guys. Take care.
Take
Be
care.
safe.
Cheers.
Bye. Bye.